Let's go.
Let's do it.
All right, man. Okay, guys, we about to start, man. So all right. So the 49ers round check, no intro needed this time around because it's the holiday spirit. We don't want to hold up the traffic, but we got our special guests, Twin Empires, man. The biggest beard in the business is in the building. And we got the McNiners. He should have his own franchise. And we got my boy Niner Gang Podcast, Dion. He speaks truth, man. It is good to have another episode, but this time it's the NFC West Champions Edition, bro. We won our division. Right. How do y'all feel?
The champs are here.
Yeah, exactly. Like all you little Lambs fans have been trying to say all season, the real champs are here.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they over there playing Green Bay in a meaningless, completely meaningless game. You know, I mean, for Green Bay, they have an outside chance to get in. Like they literally do. They have a real outside chance. The Rams have already, technically speaking, been eliminated. So, and then the sad part was the Cowboys blow that lead yesterday, and the Jags get the W. But partially because we beat the Seahawks and I think somebody else lost, now they're in. So it's a crazy situation when you look at the landscape of things, man. But, I mean, hey, we NFC West champs. We doing it with a third-string quarterback that nobody expected to see the field but from the sidelines. You know.
Relevant.
Yeah, and Glock Purdy right now is looking pretty purdy.
Yeah,
Glock Purdy is out there. Balling. But I think everybody is going to – I think our biggest challenge for him is to see how he handles adversity. Like, he's just been in situations right now where he hasn't had to truthfully deal with it. And I've always said that, like, this is the one thing that I said before about 10 that everybody didn't like, but it was the fact that if we get into a hole, I can't trust that dude to dig me out of it. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Giovanni Sanchez? The game was very good. Damn, the Seahawks got destroyed badly. I mean, look, and so I do want to make sure I roundtable this because there's something here that's being talked about which is already within the rules. It kind of pisses me off, and it's the roughing the passer.
Yeah,
like, and we'll start with our guest here, Twin. How do you feel about this? Because they are now stating that they are looking to revamp that rule to a point where you can actually be ejected for a roughing the passer call.
Man, this is not about football. This is about business. You know, the NFL, one thing, it's about money. It's about mean green, that money machine. And one thing that all of us see on every commercial, and you see Howie Long, I don't know about y'all. I grew up in the country. I'm from Mississippi, man. 601 represented over here. We grew up with dogs. We grew up with particular types of dogs as well. But I don't know if y'all watch Fox, but you see your boy Terry Bradshaw, 4-time Super Bowl champion out there, and he got this case of money. It's a gold case, but then he got these 2 Doberman pictures. He got chains on them boys. You know what he talking about? DraftKings, fantasy football, FanDuel. You know what all those things have in common when you talk about all those things that generate revenue outside of the like gridiron game? It's all about quarterbacks, man. It's all about fantasy quarterbacks and all about say, hey, how many people can we continue to bet on these games, do all of these wonderful fantasy football leagues and so on and so forth. They know one of the main drivers is what? QBs. And so, yeah, we the fans can look at it, especially the diehard, understanding that that's part of the game. You get hit, you get knocked out, you know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, you're a quarterback. You standing still back in that pocket. You don't see your blind side is not necessarily being protected. You get hit. We love it. But for them, that's bad for business. So I think it's more of an insurance policy to make sure that their product is continuing to go on the up and up. You want as many quarterbacks coming in this game, throwing for 300-something yards with 3 touchdowns to kind of continue to keep these wide receivers looking, you know, wonderful for the fans to see. And so for me, it's just about the business of football. And unfortunately, that's just what we have to go through during this time and season that we're living in as far as the modern day air that out football. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's just gotten softer with the rules, but like you said, they protect quarterbacks any way possible, especially in fantasy football. Those are the ones that give you the points. But defensively, I know defense is not the most flashy for everybody else, but it does win you games.
Yeah, but I mean, so what's your take on that, Dave? Because I mean, to me, it's complete bullshit. Because you're giving the offense, they already have every advantage under the damn sun. At this point, just put a flag on the quarterback and let him snatch it off. Put 2 flags on him, whether it be on a, just hey, these flags are on the quarterback from the left and the right. Snatch the flag, don't touch the QB. If you really go that far, because at this point you can't do anything. That roughing the passer call on Nick Bosa was complete and utter BS. Everyone knows that. You steal a defensive touchdown from Demo because he picked that ball off clean. He's gone. He wasn't thinking about nobody. He was thinking about that end zone. And then, for me, my number one problem is, do any of these refs understand the science of momentum and how it works? Because if I'm running a twin full speed and I pull up the wrong way, you know what I'm gonna do? Pull a hamstring. Now I'm out for 5-6 weeks because depending on how bad the hamstring pull is, I don't know. If I'm going to sack CG and I'm falling because we're both falling, what do you want me to do? If I try to roll out and I snap my arm in half and break it, now I'm out for the fucking season. I'm trying to figure out where this works, but it just doesn't. It just turns it into a cupcake lead. But Dave, I'll shut up. Dave, what you got?
So the call on Nick Bosa was BS. Nick Bosa actually came out afterwards and said it was my fault because I fell all my weight on him. I normally go off to the side, and I'm sitting there going, "What are you talking about?" I think he's just trying to not piss off the league is what I think he was trying to do.
He's probably media trained. Just remember that his family. He said what he was supposed to say, not what he really wanted to say. Because whenever you speak out against the refs, what do? They come for your pockets. They want to fine you. And my thing is, how you gonna fine me for telling the truth? At the end of the day, these refs suck, and they screw up on a continual basis, week in and week out.
And we see it every game. I mean, every game. It's like the commies and Giants last night.
Uh-huh.
That last play for the last pass for the Giants. That defensive back was raking the dude. The ball was over 5 yards away.
Blatant
no
BS.
flag. No flag. If that was us, I guarantee you there would be a flag. It's ridiculous. But when it comes to the league actually wanting to eject players for roughing the passer, come on, man. Look at what you guys did to Greenlaw. The guy was in the air flying. It's not like he could have changed his direction or done anything different. Mm-hmm. And you guys chose to eject him. And I believe they even fined him. It's like, come on. So, the NFL I grew up watching versus what I'm seeing now is 2 different games.
Oh, yeah.
The quarterbacks used to get hit, and they used to get beat up. You'd see Joe Montana at the end of the game. His jersey's all jacked up. He's got grass stains all over it. Those guys used to get beat up all the time. And now you sneeze at a quarterback, and you're getting a flag. You look at him funny as you're running by him. You're getting a flag. It's getting ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. And to Brian, I understand the way the rule is written, and I've literally read it a million times. What I'm saying is the rule is horrible, and it should be abolished. At the end of the day, I can't continue to try as a defensive end or a defensive lineman in general. I cannot continue to try and find ways for me to roll or do this or do that. That is too much shit for me to be thinking about. At the end of the day, my job is to sack the quarterback. That's what my job is. And if I'm getting paid to sack the quarterback, but you're making my life that much harder because it's so-called about safety, which is a crock of shit, which we all know. Because if it was all about safety, why you add an extra game to the season? If it's all about safety, why you trying to add another game? So you add an extra game and you take one preseason game away. It's not about safety. It's about exactly what Twin said. It's about money.
Ratings.
And ratings. And yes, the more the offense is on the field, the bigger the explosive plays, all of that comes into consideration. But what I'm saying is you cannot keep handicapping the defense. At this point, you might as well just play 7 on fucking 7. Like, it's not fair to defensive linemen, linebackers, and or even defensive players in general to handicap them by putting this out there and then saying, oh, we're going to throw you out the game. So now what happens if all of our guys get thrown out of the game? Like,
you'll see 7 touchdowns, though. You'll see 7 touchdowns.
Like, you can't get this will turn into college football. College football, the only place you can go and see a score like 98-0.
Yeah.
Because one team is just extremely dominant and the other team is just trash.
But the game gonna be filled, though. You know, you look at Michigan versus Michigan State, you go up north, it's gonna be 100,000 people up there.
Yeah.
And they're gonna say 100,000 people, they're gonna say, I'm gonna charge $450 a head, 100,000 people. Oh, this gonna be easy right here. This quick money. You know what I mean? And so they're gonna look at it like, yeah, the true fans are gonna be like, man, the integrity of the game, we feel like it's being slighted. But again, they're gonna be like, hey, this is $1 billion private business. You know what I'm saying? So listen here, we're gonna keep on making this money, we'll keep on generating this revenue, these ad streams. Only they looking at, they see the bottom line, and they've seen over the last 3 to 4 years, especially since Patrick Mahomes came, they just see this.
Yeah.
So they're looking like, man, listen here. As much money we getting right now, hey, y'all just gonna have to tough it out and find a way to evolve. If not, you got to get in where you fit in, or you look like the Niners. I mean, one thing we can say, as all these rules have changed, I mean, look at that. Hey, come on, we got probably. I mean, it's being debated right now. This may be the best defense in Niner franchise history. So, despite all the things that we want to discuss right now, we can look at our team and say, guess who's adjusting the quickest?
We are.
I mean, Brian Balding can sit there every week. He like, man, if you don't know about defense, if you want to see a team flying around, you want to see a team hitting hard, you want to see a team swarming the ball, you want to see a team moving in unison, all on one accord, check out the San Francisco 49ers. He was saying there's some teams out here that try to be hard, try to be physical, but this team right here, it is physical. They do it. Week in, week out, they do it. And they got it on all 3 levels. They have a multitude in every 3 levels as far as the depth is concerned. So one thing we got to give Kyle and the personnel department is this. Hey, despite whatever the situation is, y'all know we've been one of the most undisciplined team there has been since Kyle got in office. But with that being said, the defense has been adjusting. We've been hitting people. We've been knocking noses loose. We've been bending in those doggone face masks. Like, we're doing what we should be doing as one of the teams that is catching on quickest. And so with that being said, whenever the playoffs do come, reason why we had the run last year is that type of mentality. I was talking to my brother the other day. He was like, man, I said, y'all try to be something that we live. Y'all try to have an event of physicality. Physicality is our lifestyle. And so that's what we bring to the table that most teams aren't necessarily ready for. And that's what hopefully will propel us when we go on this run throughout this rest of the last 3 games and during the playoffs as well.
Yeah, the defense has made the adjustments, like the way they're hitting its legal hits, like the way, like those low hits with the shoulder hits like Dre Greenlaw does, they don't get called flags like that. But you look at plays like Fred Warner and all the positions, they do exactly what's necessary. Some defense are having a hard time catching up to it, and we've seen a little bit of the Cowboys kind of playing not so great on defense lately.
I don't care what nobody says. I was so happy.
They lost to the Jaguars.
I ain't gonna lie. But see, here's what people forgot. When the Jaguars score 30-plus points, they win. They have not lost when they score at least 30-plus points, and they did. So that's why they came out with the W, man. It warmed my heart because, to be honest with you, whenever the Cowboys lose, first thing I do is go straight to Twitter and find Stephen A. Because I know he's gonna laugh. And his laugh is infectious when they lose. Like he takes so much pride in every Cowboy loss that it makes me laugh. Like I look at him because I already know what's gonna happen. Michael Irvin finna come on first take, and he got to defend the Cowboys and what happened. But with that being said, man, these last 3 games we got the Commanders. Who else do we got? I know we got the Commanders, Raiders, and the Cardinals.
Yep. Cardinals are handicapped right now with injuries, man. Did you see what they just did? They just fired their GM.
Who?
Steve Keim. Like I've heard reports that
for the Cardinals.
Yeah, they parted ways, so that means they're like.
Well, I mean, it kind of is what it is.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of toxic, bro. Like okay. The only teams that I see is more tough is maybe the Commanders, Raiders. They're up and down team. They just got away with a questionable call. That should have been out of bounds.
Yeah. So for me, when I'm looking at the rest of the schedule, this is how I see it. We can win all 3 games.
Yeah.
I don't see why not. But if it comes down like that Cardinals game, if our seeding is set and cannot be changed, about everybody and their mama that's a backup is getting in. I'm going in, Twin going in, CG, you on the O line. Dave, we putting you a DB alongside with me on the other side. Like nope. Everybody that is a starter get off the field. You will look at it from the sidelines. And it's only just to keep the guys healthy, man. And it's not like our backups are fucking scrubs.
They're pretty decent. Like John's not that bad.
Outside of the defensive back position, every time has been suspect because he ain't even been able to get on the field outside of special teams. It just these are things, that we have to look at and take into account. For me, I think we can win all 3 games. But like I said, if our seeding is set after we kick the Raiders' teeth in, then there's no point for us to put our starters out there and possibly get them hurt. Give them that week of rest and let them come into, to the wild card round fresh because unfortunately, we don't have 2 teams to get a bye. We basically have to deal with having one team with a bye and then us being able at least to host our games, as long as the teams have shittier records, which right now we're looking pretty good.
Well, the best case scenario for us is I don't think the Eagles are going to lose out the rest of the games. They might just lose maybe 1 game and that's it. But the best case scenario is the Vikings spot because they got number 2. So all we got to do is win out these games. And the Vikings, I don't know. Green Bay gives them problems at times. So
Cousins will screw up. He will. He'll screw up at some point.
And the Giants are not that bad either. They've been playing some good, inspiring football. So I think the Vikings are going to lose 2 out of the 3 games, and then we'll probably still get our number 2 seed. And like you said, we might rest our starters, but nothing to gain.
Dude, the Vikings, we need them to lose 1 time.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, and plus
one loss, and we need to control our destiny and win out.
Philly right now, Jalen Hurts his shoulder is injured a little bit. His throwing shoulder is hurting him. So, depending on how long that lasts or lingers, it is what it is. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, the only reason that I'm worried about Philly in any way, shape, or form is Jalen Hurts. Why? Because he's a mobile QB. We usually have issues with mobile QBs because we don't put a damn spy on them. Why? I have no idea. Now, on God's green earth, you wouldn't spy like a Jalen Hurts or a Lamar Jackson type. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't do that, but it just, to me, that's the thing about it.
I think like we mainly run I think it's like 61-65% zone. And I think the Mikio is really just hell bent on saying you're going to acquiesce to what we do and we're not going to conform to what you do. At the end of the day, I feel like my 11 is better than your 11. And sometimes they may seem like you're so stubborn to a fault. And we've known that to happen on our offensive end and our defensive end. But like on both sides of the ball, they both have that mentality as far as our coaches. It's like, hey, dude, you're going to bend to our will. We're not going to bend to your will. And it may be shown as a sign of weakness when you conform to what the other team does well and put that spy out there. But I think this year is a little bit different. If we're not like necessarily hurt real bad, like far as on the defensive end, especially our corners. Having Travarius Ward, what up, Mooney? You know, he's straight out of Mississippi too, 25 minutes away from where I grew up. You know what I'm saying? But
Oh,
representing
there you
that
go.
city.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But having him doing what he did, similar to what's my guy named DK Metcalf,
Yeah.
how he followed him around, being rough with him, being just physical. They have AJ Brown, somebody who's been a wonderful addition, probably one of the top 5 off-season additions to really help a team take the next level. I think he deserves some flowers for what he did, what he brought to that team. Actually helped out Jalen Hurts become a better quarterback. But again, Travarius Ward, go get him. We got the Nick Bosa's of the world, so on and so forth, to do what they do as far as bringing in that pressure. Our thing is, I believe Kyle will play that time of possession type of ball to say, hey, Jalen Hurts, we want to minimize your attempts to come and score on us. And that's always been Kyle's, I guess, plan of attack, is to say, hey, we're going to hold this ball, we're going to run it down your throat. And even if you do have a high-power offense or a quarterback that is able to go out there and do some things off-center or run outside of the boundaries and so on and so forth, we're going to play keep away, and there's no way you can out physical us in those times in which we play in that way.
Yeah, physicality, like the way we match up with these receivers, like you just said for the Eagles, like getting A.J. Brown does make this offense a lot better than the previous years because they had Devontae Smith, and Devontae Smith is like that one receiver that gives you those big plays, but he doesn't match up with physicality mostly. But now that you got somebody like A.J. Brown that takes away off the pressure for him, it makes it easy for somebody like Smith to get those big plays and not to be focused on, because A.J. Brown is getting a lot of the attention. And that's what makes it so good for the Eagles. And yes, Jalen Hurts has gotten better because the addition of A.J. Brown pays huge dividends, and the Titans are kind of regretted it now. So it's like they didn't want to pay him, but I get why they did it. But
I don't know why you wouldn't pay that dude. Like to me, to be honest with you, look at their receiving core right now. What are they doing? Nothing. Like you allowed Philly to basically rob you of your best receiver, and then you put that dude with Devontae Smith. Now, Devontae Smith, the only reason he doesn't bode well with physicality is because he's about skinny as a toothpick. You know, he doesn't have like, he may possibly be that guy because KD is the same. In basketball, he's just tall and skinny. There's no meat on that dude's bones at all. Like he's small. And when you have guys like that, they have to find different ways to be able to, to assert themselves on a physical level, because straight up, trying to match up one-on-one, I'm going to tell you right now, he ain't got no business trying to go up against Mooney or Demo. They are out physical him in every way.
But similar to your argument earlier, this is where this comes into play, the physicality of the modern NFL. So even though a slender built guy like himself, it's normally like, you play press man coverage on him. It's a little ticky-tacky right now, you know what I mean? So you're not going to necessarily go out there and be able to just overpower, these wide receivers like you used to. So that does bode well for them. But again, I can't wait to see, like, hopefully the NFC Championship game between us and the Eagles, that'll be wonderful. But that's what we wait for, when you have the cream that finally rises to the top, and we get to see those wide receivers against our corners. And, man, hey, get your popcorn ready, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what makes me excited,
Oh, yeah. That's probably the one game everybody wants to tune in for, the championship mostly. It's like they want to see how the Eagles can handle a physical team like the Niners. The Niners are starting to peak in at the right time. You know how we start slow in the season. Now we're coming in strong. We're that hot team that you don't want to play. Everybody's talking about you don't want to play us early in the playoffs. No way you want to play us down the road. So it's like you come to Levi's, you better get your popcorn ready. It's going to either be a long-ass day because you better get your game ready, man, because that physicality defense, we're going to knock y'all out. We're not playing around. We're going to run the ball down your throats. We're going to play smart football, and our defense is going to knock your ass out.
That's facts. Now, speaking of the run, Kyle, if you're listening, you need to give Mr. Mason a couple more touches now.
Yes. And
you shouldn't have robbed him of that TD at the end of the game. I know why you did it. I get it. But you should have just said, you know what? Let me call this timeout, get this young kid his first TD, man. Let me hook him up. You know what I'm saying? I know you don't want to lose the game. You don't want him to fumble. You don't want at that point it's 21-13. It's only an 8-point game. You know, you don't want to try that. Pretty sure if they never called that BS roughing the passer penalty and we had that touchdown, he might have actually, you know what I'm saying, said, hey, look, we up too far for them to catch us. So it becomes a little different, but you need to start giving Jordan Mason more touches. Like the kid is flat out amazing.
Physical.
Jordan Mason has short area quickness, meaning if it's you, him, and 40 yards, he got you. But if it's you, him, and more than that, yeah, you probably gonna catch him. Because you see, he burnt out pretty quickly right there at the end. But I honestly feel like Mason needs way more touches. Like I need him to have 10 to 15 a game at a minimum. Because on top of that, you spell CMC. You don't abuse him so much. And you know how this works, man. You know, if something happens to CMC, God forbid, we got to stick with TDP and Mason. And the reason Mason is getting more burn is because he's better on special teams. And now at this point, they saw what he has. So Kyle has no choice but to go ahead and say, let me put the kid on the field. The only issue is you kind of look a little bit stupid because you did something 2 years in a row that made you look like an idiot. And that was drafting Trey Sermon and then cutting him. Now you got TDP and he's doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop wasting high draft picks on running backs. And the reason that I state this as Kyle is because it is him. He's the one who does this crap. He's done it almost every year he's been here. He has that certain guy that he has to have, that he pounds the table for, and the shit don't pan out. Dante Pettis is worthless. I don't care what he did in New York. I don't care what he did in Chicago. He's still trash. And then to top it all off, Joe Williams, he quit in college and then quit in the NFL. You know, Jalen Hurd
never played a single down.
Everybody jumped on the hype train after that preseason Cowboys game, and you never got to see anything because he couldn't stay healthy.
I was being critical about that pick from the get-go. I said, man, you can't stay healthy.
Like, CJ Beathard, you thought this dude was going to be something? Well, you went to the Iowa well, and now you're back at the Iowa well. Just you went to Iowa State and it seemed to work out a little better for you. You know, and it's sad that through all of those quarterbacks, CJ Beathard was the one who had the biggest arm. You know, so it's just I feel like Mason should get more burn, man. What do you think, Dave? How you feel like Mason should get some more touch?
I think he just had a 55-yard run. So hello, Kyle.
Yeah.
Did that not earn him more carries? I mean,
should.
I'd like to see the kid get 12 to 16 touches. You know, see CMC get 12 to 16 touches. You know, and
fresh.
Maybe mix in an end around here or two with Ray and. Honestly, you know, Danny Gray's not the biggest guy, but he's fast. So why not try a jet sweep with the guy? You know, get him on the edge. Let's see what happens. I mean, you know, Kyle Shanahan's supposed to be an offensive genius, and I don't see any of this stuff happening with Ray or Danny Gray. I mean, it needs to.
Or on the goal line, you can use Mason or use TDP on one of the goal line situations where it comes in the short distance, like the 1 yard or 2 yard.
And use TDP as a fullback at one point. Why not just hand him the actual ball?
He's
a fullback and let him barrel his way in there. He is a bully. That was his college style. TDP was a bully. He wasn't a speedster. He wasn't a home run hitter. He was a bully. That's how he got busy. That's how he got down. But I don't know, man. What you thinking, Twin?
Kyle is Kyle. You know, some days he be like, "Oh, good job, Kyle," and some days you be like, "Really? Why are you doing this?" You know, this has been going on for consecutive weeks, though. It happened not only this week but last week as well. And eventually, you hope Kyle would learn from some of those mistakes. Because one thing about our team in the running back room, we constantly, I think this will be like year number 5 or 6 that we will have a different leading rusher. Like in a row, 6 years in a row, different leading rusher. And we have had multiple backs that have gone down throughout the year as well. So to me, I don't know who like checks in on Kyle and say, hey, my guy, look what's going on. Survey the land. We gave up this many draft picks again for CMC. He runs the ball well. We have other guys who are valuable. They can run the ball well too. We want to make sure we know December football, January football, we are a running team. We want to run the ball at least 30 to 35 times a game.
Yes.
That's what we do. So if we already know this, we want to make sure that we have fresh legs. One thing I say is that CMC, yes, he's a great running back and great receiving, a pass catcher out of the backfield, but also these guys got young legs, man. Young, spry legs. I mean, the testosterone's at its peak. They full of energy. They ain't got no real responsibilities right now. They ain't got no kids. TDP, Jordan Mate, like they ready. You know what I'm saying? So while they're young, they have fresh legs. They haven't taken a lot of contact throughout this year. When they're going against these guys who've been on the D-line and linebackers, they've been playing 14, 15, 16 games. They got snaps. You know, everybody know every player got a snap sheet. How many snaps have you played? These guys are under 35 apiece. Like you combine them together, they all probably under 35 snaps. You see what I'm saying? So it's like during this time of the year, incorporate those fresh legs in there. You also help out your offensive linemen start to get adjusted to how they run, so they can acclimate themselves to their running style. And then Cal can start getting used to calling plays for these guys. A lot of times we've seen that when there's different players, Cal kind of wants to call a particular type of way all the time, but you have to call plays according to the playing style of your quarterback and also of your running back. And so that happens with repetition. You know, you can't wait till the last game of the season to start getting these guys reps about how do you run in between on Trent's side, or how do you run over there on McGlinchey's side, or how do you run in between the tackles between, you know, big boy Aaron Banks or Bruford, like whatever the case may be. Like, so these things takes repetition. It takes confidence too. Those young guys got to get confidence. They got to get familiar with running, and you have to let them go out there and learn, even if they do make a couple of mistakes, but you will be better for it towards the end of the year in the playoffs. So hopefully Kyle is changing his ways a little bit. I mean, we even seen Kyle go for it a couple of times on fourth down. We even seen Kyle do a little like hurry up offense over the last 3 weeks. So I'm hoping that he just may be a slow adjuster when it comes to some of the things that he's very pertinent about. But during this next couple of weeks, I'm like you, let's see Mason, let's see TDP, and even some Danny Gray, man. You know, let him go in there and run a little bit if he just can stay healthy.
Yeah, definitely so, man. So Bryant says we're only seeing a glimpse of this trust. We're only seeing a glimpse of this trusted process. There's a reason they aren't starting. I'm not saying they should start, Bryant. I'm saying they need more time on the field. So you spell CMC. The issue with CMC, what people seem to forget is the man hasn't had necessarily the greatest stretch of health in the NFL. So the less you use him, the better off it is for him.
He gets fresher.
And I'm saying rotate these guys more. I don't want them to start over CMC, but I need them in heavier rotation so that you take the weight off of CMC. So and I'm sorry, I don't trust Kyle's process because Kyle done some screwed up shit since he's been here. So I can't trust the process. There are too many times we trusted the process came back and bit us in the ass. So for me, I don't trust Kyle at times. Like I take Kyle with a grain of salt. There'd be times where he looked like a genius, and there's times where he looked like a dumbass. And I say that because I hold everybody accountable. No one is above reproach. There are people that are fans that believe that Kyle can do no wrong, that you just have to think, you just have to let him do what he does. No, there are plenty of times where I don't watch him call plays. I'm like, why did you even do that? We know you're the offensive coordinator. Nobody else here. You've not named anyone else. You gave that title to Mike McDaniel. And that got Mike McDaniel a head coaching job. But you ain't gave that title to nobody else this year. And I know that it's you calling the plays. So when there's questionable stuff going on, who else is there to blame? So everybody can, think about things in their own way. I respect it. But for me, I don't trust Kyle and I don't trust his process all the time. because there'd be too many times where he done burn me and I'm looking at shit like, what the fuck are you doing? So it's not about not showing it in practice, because at the end of the day, if that's the case, the TDP should never be on the field. Neither should Danny Gray. Neither one of these dudes should ever see the field, because Jordan Mason's on the field. Why? Because he shows that he's great in special teams in practice all the time, and he got some burn. You know what I'm saying? And no, I'm not going to trust him based off the fact Kyle's been in 2 Super Bowls. One as offense coordinator, one as a head coach, and he lost both of them. Why? Being conservative. In the second half, when he was the offensive coordinator versus the Falcons, what happened? They made adjustments, and he lost. Versus the Chiefs just a couple years ago in 2019. Kyle had the nerve, the unmitigated gall to walk up to that podium and say that he felt comfortable with that lead. Everybody else remember 2019? What was Patrick Mahomes doing every damn playoff game? Coming from
back 18, 21.
I have no reason to get comfortable against Patrick Mahomes. I'm not comfortable at all. I know. If I can put up 300,000 points on Patrick Mahomes, I want to put up 500,000. That's what I'm saying. Those types of situations that I've seen from him makes me not trust him. So I don't care that you got to the NFC Championship game. That's all well and good. It's nice that you went to the Super Bowl, but
you didn't win.
That's what matters at the end of the day. It doesn't matter that you went. Because I can tell you right now, the Bills went to 4 straight. Lost.
You're going to give a damn.
Hey, look, the Bills, BILLS. Boy, I love losing Super Bowl, and as good as that run was, as great as that run was in the 90s, only 2 teams people talk about in the 90s, well, 3 teams. Look, Cowboys, Niners, Green Bay, and Broncos. That's it. Other than that, as good as Jim Kelly was, as good as Andre Thomas, Bruce Smith, Andre Rison, as good as all those players was. People don't even mention them. They don't even. Hey, let's be honest. We watch. Do y'all ever see people mentioning them?
Nope.
Ever.
Nope.
4 straight Super Bowls. Even Tom Brady had done that.
Straight.
Even Tom had done that, and don't nobody say a thing about him.
Nothing.
Nobody.
You know why? Because they lost. At the end of the day,
the Hardball Niners, they don't care about that one.
Yep. To the victor goes the spoils. And for us, we can't say nothing. We've been to 2 Super Bowls in at least the last 10 years. And what did we do? Took an L twice.
Hey,
so
I
that
got
don't
this
mean nothing to nobody.
And I tell people this. It says like sometimes people think you're being like mean or you're not appreciative. I'm appreciative.
Oh yeah.
My thing is this. Y'all, we watch all these games. We even go to games as well. The reason why the faithful travel the way they travel, if we've been all the way 100 and honest, David, CJ, when y'all was young, y'all saw Super Bowl victory. Y'all saw Super Bowl victory. You saw Super Bowl victory. You didn't even know how it feels to lose. So when people say, "Oh, I don't understand how y'all tripping," all this 49er gear y'all see, all this 49er faithful moving in droves from California to New Mexico to Tampa Bay while all these fans travel because of that foundation, whether it was the Jerrys, the Joes, the Roger, you know what I'm saying, the Ken Norton, it was, the Brett Jones, it was the Roger Craig, it was all these people. When they won, it solidified the fandom to go to another level. Not just because they went, because they won. It was like, ooh, when we go, we don't come back with L's. We come back with rings. And so I'm saying that to say, like, it's nothing to knock about going, but the standard, what I hear Jerry Rice say, is Super Bowl rings. The standard, what I hear Steve Young say is what? He, no matter how many MVPs he got, first thing he said was, I can finally do what? Because I did what? I get the monkey off my back because I finally won a ring, because that was what Joe Montana, that was the standard Joe left here, where I was replacing, was this. He 4-0. And not only did he go to the Super Bowl, come on, guys. This defense is good, but y'all Dodger fans, go check out that 85. Go check out that 89 team. Go look at that run. Go look at those scores. Go see what the Niners were doing to them boys in the playoffs.
Smacking them up. I think we had a record for the most points scored in the Super Bowl. We put up 55. 55. Like,
twice.
yeah, we ain't
Not
playing
once.
around. So, and to Brian's point, he was saying that Andy Reid lost too. I don't give a shit about Andy Reid. With all due respect, as Andy Reid, that's not my problem. But you know what Andy Reid did to us? He beat us and got one. So he get as much as people talk about what you haven't, what you did or did not do. The only thing that matters at the end of the day is getting that W in the Super Bowl. And when you say that Kyle is the best we've had in how long? We went from Jim Harbaugh right into Kyle. What are you talking about? Jim Harbaugh was fucking fantastic. I love Jim Harbaugh. The man never had a losing season ever as a head coach for the Niners. We never had a losing season. His last season, he finished 8-8.
That was like his only word.
I'm telling you, we had Harbaugh. So it hasn't been a ridiculously long amount of time since we had a great coach. Like Harbaugh was dope. And yes, we had, a couple rough years with Chip Kelly and Jim Tom Sula. But at the end of the day, we all know
it wasn't like a decade though. It wasn't like
it wasn't
a decade of
there was no
horrible coaches. I mean, come on, 2014?
Yeah, we had about 2 years, 3 years?
3 years.
I think we had 2 years of Kelly and 1 year of Tom Sula.
We had I believe Jim Tom Sula was 2015 and Chip Kelly was 2016.
Yeah, they were just like
so we had 2 years. We only had a 2-year gap. So I mean, like it's not. It's my thing is it wasn't like we were in purgatory and and Kyle came and he just brought us back to life. We were there. And when he came in, yes, he had a shitty team. But here's another thing I'll tell you. I can blame Kyle directly for the loss for the trash that was put on the field in 2017 when he first got here. You know why? He was too busy loving on Kirk Cousins to pick a damn quarterback. Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes were in that draft, people. I know we know this. So don't sit up here and tell me that he was over there. Nah, he did. Look. Kyle did rebuild the team, but that's that 2017 season is solely on him. Yes, we got Jimmy, but Jimmy literally was the consolation prize. It's like going to a carnival and you throwing the baseballs at the little things and you knocking them all down. But because they don't have that big ass monstrous fucking lion, you got to get a little small bobblehead. You see what I'm saying? So we had to settle for Jimmy. There was no choice on that. Did Kyle and John build this team over the years? Yes, we agree. But you know what they also did? First season, you neglected to get a quarterback. You should have definitely did that, knowing that you had nobody to come in here and do shit. Because Brian Hoyer was a worthless ass bridge. We set a record for most losses by less than 3 points or 3 points or less, something like that. And then to top it all off, when it came down to it, he was too big. He swore up and down he was going to go get Kirk. And I've told people this a million times. Kirk will never win a Super Bowl. He getting paid. He getting broke off. But he's never going to win a Super Bowl. He's just not that dude. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback, but he's just that guy that's going to keep his numbers right so his pockets stay fat. At the end of the day, what has Kirk Cousins done in this league in the playoffs? Lose.
He loses, but he puts on the numbers. That's all we look at, Kirk Cousins.
So everybody looks and they go, "Oh man, Kirk Cousins is a great quarterback."
So was Dan Marino.
I'll give you a better example. Eli Manning was trash in the regular season.
Yep.
He was one of the worst regular season quarterbacks ever. I think he's got literally the same amount of touchdowns as interceptions. But you know what happened? The 2 times that man went to the playoffs, he beat Tom Brady.
High fish grease, boy.
2 rings. 2 rings. And you know and you know the crazy thing about it is he was able to say he got 2 rings before Peyton, who everybody says was way better than him, and it's a fact he was. But you know what?
Hey, Dion, and to cut you off, and this is like any type of competitive player would say this. If you got Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, and Aaron Rodgers at the dinner table, you know who will drop the nuts on that table the most?
Brady.
Eli Manning.
Oh,
yeah,
I get what he's saying. Yeah.
He not gonna look.
yeah.
He say, "Yeah, you got 7, but I batting 1,000, and you know who was pitching on the other end? You, my guy. And I bet you right now, to this day, out of the 7 rings, I tell you this: I bet you Tom Brady still tossed and turned in his sleep by losing those 2 Super Bowl rings to Eli Manning.
Yeah, Tom Brady to me is the Jordan of football, because both of them are assholes and they both have killer instinct. And that's the one thing I can say. I know, because I'm a Bulls fan. I'm a diehard Bulls fan. Been one since I was a kid, and it's strictly because of MJ. I mean, the minute I saw that man leave the floor and go for a fucking dunk, it was spectacular, and I've been sold ever since. But the thing is, there's always a comparison to somebody, and the issue is you have to find the right people to give that kind of comparison to. Tom Brady has killer instinct. He wants to rip your fucking throat out and shit down it, like he truthfully does. If he could do it and it was legal, he probably would do it every fucking game. Like, the dude has killer instinct, and some people have it, and some people don't. This is why when people say, well, LeBron and Jordan, can't compare the two whole different people, 2 totally different eras, 2 totally different styles of basketball. You know what I'm saying? And MJ was MJ. And the closest person we had to MJ, God rest his soul, is Kobe Bryant, period. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about that, because Kobe had killer instinct. But we built this. I mean, they built this team. I appreciate everything they've done. I'm not saying I'm ungrateful. I'm just saying that for me, there were certain things that were done that are questionable, which makes me not have full faith and trust in Kyle. Just because I've seen so many things over the years that go, there's some suspect things. And yeah, I mean, hell, Bill Belichick didn't win when he first started coaching. He wasn't automatically a fucking Super Bowl winner. He didn't win shit until he got to the Patriots. Matter of fact, he wasn't that great when he was with the Giants. He wasn't that great when he was with the fucking Browns. When he got to the Patriots, that's where he made his name. Other than that, he was a good defensive coordinator.
Yeah, like Belichick was around the Bill Parcells coaching tree, man. That dude was doing a nice defense with Lawrence Taylor, but he didn't become successful overnight. When he went to the Browns, he turned that team into a playoff team, but didn't do much from there. So when you look at the way how Kyle Shanahan is building his offense, man, like we are building a nice defensive culture. Yeah. Like, you got a lot of guys who played this game, like DeMeco Ryans. He's been in this league before, and he knows what it takes to win. But he's been on teams like the Texans and the Eagles, and he knows what that mentality is. He went to Alabama. He knows what it's like to win. And you build a culture with these guys that are buying into the system. The way our defense is playing, dude, they are buying into what DeMeco is more than – I don't know. Robert Saleh was a good defensive coach, but he wasn't like that. He wasn't like that aggressive.
No, I think DeMeco's better, honestly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I ain't going to front you. Both of them dudes look like they could be on the field playing linebacker. Him and Saleh.
Mr. Clay.
They still look like they could get out there and run and take a couple snaps here and there. But I like what DeMeco is doing. I love it. I mean, like, he's been fantastic, and it's gonna suck when he leaves, because he ain't gonna be here next year. I can guarantee you that. The minute, if God forbid we lose an NFC championship, whatever the case may be, I will tell you right, the minute he becomes available, his phone is going to be ringing off the freaking hook. Teams are going to be vying for his services, and I can tell you this. Don't be surprised if there's a couple of ex-49ers that roll with him. Jimmy Ward don't like playing nickel. DeMeco might take him and put him back at safety where he wants to be, and give him a couple bucks.
Oh, give him a good raise too.
Yeah, Mr. Garoppolo is on the mend, and he's going to need a new team. Somebody's going to break him off.
Maybe DeMeco
look and say, hey, I can draft a guy, let him develop behind Jimmy, and Jimmy will be good enough to bridge me until we get where we need to go. There's a variety of things that can happen. So you never know. I just think that this season right now, we are having a great season. We literally have went all the way to our third string quarterback, and we're still winning. We took the division, and we took the division with basically somebody nobody knew about. Nobody knew who Mr.
Irrelevant.
Did anybody know about Brock Purdy? Because I sure as fuck didn't.
I didn't know who he was until I saw.
I live in Arizona, and I hadn't even heard about the kid.
No, I mean I've heard of his game when I was watching Oklahoma games, and he was one of those quarterbacks from Iowa State. And I remember we lost to Iowa State, and I was looking at who's that number 15 dude. That dude was killing us.
Look, at Iowa State, he was the man. He was the best player on the team.
30 wins over there.
With us, he doesn't have to be the man. He's not the best player on the team. He just has to do his job and play football.
Hey, and the beauty of it is we don't have to worry about him screwing it up. You know, now don't get me wrong. He's been saved by a couple of calls. He has. Because he threw that interception, and what happened? He got saved. You know what I'm saying? There's been a couple of times that he's been saved. So that's cool. I mean, it works out for you well. To me, to be honest with you, man, I feel like we're very unstoppable. And I feel like any team coming to play us, it's like running headfirst into a buzzsaw. We just gonna split your wig right open, man, and we're gonna do it in a way that you have no option but to deal with it. Because I'm telling you, looking at how Brock Purdy has been playing, the defense has been playing amazing. Like everything is just working out perfectly for us, and I have no quarrels or qualms about it. You know, and to your point, Dave, when you said he doesn't have to be that guy, that's what Kyle said at the beginning of the season about Trey Lance. We have enough people around him that he doesn't have to go out and try to be overly spectacular. He just has to do what he has to do. The only thing I would say openly is you need to let Trey Lance throw the ball like you got Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy throwing the damn ball. He could do everything they were doing. I don't like this we're going to run Trey Lance into the ground shit. That was not cool. Why we were heavy on the run when Lance was there. And magically, the minute Jimmy gets in, we got to throw the ball now. The minute Brock Purdy comes in, we got to throw the ball now. We can't have him running. The fuck? And everybody looks at me and tells me I'm wrong because I'm like, well, I feel like Kyle should take some of the blame because he was running the ball too fucking much. I don't know.
It's like a lot of that, man. Like when you look at the way how this team is building, man, it's like Shanahan's ego's always been holding us back at times. And I don't get why he's too conservative, man. Like maybe you should take a killer instinct the way how guys – I mean, see, it took Andy Reid so long to realize that he had the ability to win a Super Bowl, but he had to go elsewhere. So it wasn't going to work for Philly. Even though he had Donovan McNabb, which was a hell of a good quarterback, he had a good team around him. But was it because he was peaking too soon, or was he just not a fit with Philadelphia? Because he's starting to find something in Kansas City, even though he's still choking another Super Bowl.
Well, I think it's mainly because eventually, so we've seen in several Super Bowls, there's always a play call that you be like, oh, you drop your nuts on that one, or oh, you risk it all, or I mean, we look at the Eagles versus the Patriots. They did some real risky things. You look at the Saints versus I forgot who they played, but they went for an outside kick on third quarter, like first play. They like, oh wow, outside kick third quarter. Wasn't expecting that. All hands teams was not ready for that. You know what I mean? And so there's plays where you're gonna have to say, hey, I've been holding this in my playbook since April, May. I'm finally finna hit the play button and use this play. And so for Kyle, I know he's an offensive wizard and he has all these creative things, but I think he's kind of like he get a little tight in the clutch. But during the playoffs, that's when you gotta say, hey man, if you got a clip, I'm referencing the firearm in the playoff, you gotta let all of them go. You can't at the end of the game, you can't go check your magazine like, I got 3 bullets left, or I got 2 bullets left. No. You gotta look, and even that joker jam, you gotta say, okay, I ain't got nothing left. Throw that motherfucker. You should don't even have the gun. After you empty the clip, look, take the doggone butt off, throw the doggone gun at you come like, I ain't got nothing left. I left everything that I had on that field. And I think what that shows is this. It's not about you, Kyle, but it shows that I believe in my players too. I believe that my talent supersedes my ability to call everything perfectly. I believe that my Dick Bosa's, I believe that my your Jimmy Wards, I believe that my George Kittles, I think Amano versus Imano, I'm telling my guys, I believe y'all better. I believe that you guys can execute. I believe that you guys have the mental fortitude to go out there and do whatever it is that I tell you better than the opposing team. I believe that y'all are family. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if anyone y'all played, but when your coach gives you that type of confidence, there's a certain type of swagger you have. That's a certain type of bravado that you bring out there. There's a certain type of like, hey, bro, I'm finna leave it all on this field. And if you tell me go out here and do this trick play, or you go out here and tell me to run this play we ain't ran all year, I'm finna run it to the best of my abilities. I'm finna make sure all 11 of my other guys are on board. And I'm gonna look at my defense, say, hey, if we mess up, we got you. And if my defense mess up, my offense is gonna say, hey, don't worry about it. We got you as well.
Yeah, and that makes total sense. See, I didn't play football, I ran track. But yes, when you have that when your coach gives you that kind of faith, it does put a little something extra into you. Why do you think that Alex Smith played the way he played under Jim Harbaugh? Because those pats on the shoulder pads, that double punch to the chest, and that look in the eye telling him to go out there and go get it, gave him that extra boost of confidence. Like, and to me, to be honest with you, Kyle and his dad are one and the same. They nothing is ever good enough. They're not going to tell you that it was good enough. You could get Brock Purdy could go out versus the Commanders, have 4 touchdowns and 500 yards, and he gonna walk in the locker room and Shanahan gonna be like, "That was cute. Do it again." Like, they don't show love, and it's just who they are. So I get it. Some people are like that, but that's why do you think Cap and Alex Smith played so hard for Harbaugh? Because he showed he had faith in them. When you got a coach that does that for you, man, that's why you think. Why do you think all these defensive players play with their hair on fire every single down? D'Amico got faith in him.
D'Amico be over on y'all see him on the sideline.
He just as hyped as Salah, if not hyper.
He's more hyped than him.
Like, Salah, I used to love when Salah would be on the sidelines like that. But the one thing I can say about D'Amico and Salah is they do it respectfully. Sean McVay, you out here disrespectful as hell. Your ass on the damn field trying to celebrate with the players. Okay, look, you missed your opportunity to get on the football field, sir. You weren't good enough, so you went to coaching. Fine. But stay your ass on the sidelines where you belong. Don't get out there trying to celebrate with these players. Okay? Don't do that.
He still thinks it in high school.
He do. Hey, bro, we were in that NFC Championship game. I wanted to kill him because he was doing way too much.
But check this out, though. This is one thing I say about Kyle that I'm curious about, right? So y'all see him on the sideline of late, too, when it's cold outside. He got the hat with the hoodie on the hat, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, try with the nice little shoes on, try and be swaggy. We know he named his son, you know, after Lil Wayne. So
Carter,
I'm over here like, okay, the Carter, no ceilings. All right, I feel you. So to me, it's like, okay, there's a part of you that have some type of flair. Because you can't say, if you listen to Lil Wayne that much, you name your son after Carter, you know there's a lot of flamboyancy, there's a lot of braggadocious, there's a lot of swagger like us. You know, like when you listen to a guy like that. So I'd be wondering, like, Cal, you telling me you just pin all that in the inside of you and you don't release that nowhere? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's one of my thing with the quarterback or OC relationship, or in this case, head coach, OC, and quarterback relationship. It's like, bro, man, ooze that type of feeling upon that QB. You know what I'm saying? Ooze, I mean, because then your offense will kind of begin to pick up that same type of swagger, because we see on the defense, and it's no offense to Cal, it's like for the entirety of this year, I was telling somebody, you know, who was having a little back and forth on Twitter, like, hey, the identity of this team is the defense in D'Amico Ryan. Has the offense came along and gotten better? Yes, especially since CMC has came in. Yes, but let's not get it twisted. This team is on a historic run defensively. So therefore, the defense and the defensive coordinators are doing something that hasn't been done in the entire existence of the San Francisco 49ers. So let's not get it twisted. There's something over there on their side that look over there, Kyle, and you see anything that's worth stealing, hey, you hire him anyway. Feel free to steal it and bring it to the offensive side. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, so Sean says the Eagles and the Cowboys are the only challenge, I think. The only thing that was right in that sentence was Eagles. Cowboys ain't no damn challenge. These motherfuckers go fall flat on their face. Let me explain something to you. We as Dodger fans, we have a love-hate relationship with Stephen A. Smith. Because there'll be times where he makes perfect sense, and there's times where he just We don't know what's going on. But I will tell you this. One thing I agree with Stephen A. Smith about, just wait.
Just wait.
Fall is coming. It will happen. They will flounder. They will screw up. And as tight, because they're in the best division in football right now. The NFC East is the best division in the NFC.
More competitive, yes.
It's more competitive than any division. Every team is at or above 500. Every single team.
Yeah.
And you could be sending at least two, maybe three teams to the playoffs.
In the NFC South, yeah. The NFC South is trash.
Yeah, the NFC South is horrid. They look like the NFC West years ago when Sam Bradford and the Lamb Chops got in at 7-9 and shit.
No, so Seahawks, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry about that, Miss Bird gang. We got you. You know, the Cowboys. That's nothing. we did it last year. We'll do it again this year. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't think there's a person on this panel right now that believes the Cowboys really present any type of pressure or anything. I think their defense, maybe, but the thing is, I don't have to really worry too much about Trayvon Diggs. You know, because that's the only person that really has any type of weight as far as a secondary is concerned. Ain't nobody else in their secondary scaring me at all. You know, I don't buy that. Mike Parsons is a baller.
Didn't Diggs get schooled last year in the playoffs?
Oh, he got murdered.
He got blocked by freaking Jennings, bro. Bam! Knocked his lights out.
You lucky Jimmy G when eyes was bad, because Ayuk was out there filleting my guy. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
He was just out there doing a little, you know, just letting people know, hey, if a quarterback throws me the ball, I am open. You know, I'm over here cooking my guy. He in the blender. It's like Kyrie Irving one-on-one on the at the X position. He just out here just shaking and baking my man's. But he like they won't pass me the ball. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here. I'm here. But so hopefully this year.
How many times did we watch Brandon Ayuk while Jimmy G was at quarterback have a freaking
open receiver
2-year-old tantrum on the field because he's standing there wide the hell open, but Jimmy decides to hit the check down. And these are times where Jimmy had the time. Like there's so many times that he's been in the pocket and he's had the option to go deep and look, but he's like, And
look, listen here. And this is what I tell people who didn't watch, like, we know GOAT Rice, like Jared.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Hands down.
Bro, you can check go on my Twitter, people, if you have time today. And I got a clip of Jerry Rice with Elvis Gerback catching 70-yard bombs and running to the house, bro, with Gerback. You know what I'm saying? And Bono, like, bro, that was a staple. Like, dude, when Jerry used to do this right here, look, he'd throw their hand out like that. Hey, what that girl on Frozen say? Let it go. let that go. You know what I'm saying? Feel free, my guy, because he going all the way down to score a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at people like, bro, this is what we're saying. There's points out there. You know what I'm saying? And you just have to trust your arm and trust your wide receivers to go out there and make those big splash plays.
I'm just hoping Brock Purdy gives the targets to Ayuk a little more too. I think that will be good for the playoffs. I mean, I'm pretty sure he'll be a lot more better than what Jimmy does at this point.
Well, he's got to give him the targets now because there's no Debo to throw to. So you're going to see. I'm going to tell you right now. For me, this is how I honestly think. Since Debo is out, you're going to see a little more Ray Ray. Ray Ray's going to play Debo's role. And I think the reason that happens is because what people forget is Ray Ray is actually fairly dynamic with the ball in his hand. You know, he's been doing really well this season. He hasn't been as bad with his fumbling. I know early in the season, you know, we saw that a couple of times, but he hasn't done it, you know, more recently. God forbid he starts to do it again, but he's been all right. And I think that they put him in that role because he's unexpected and you don't know. And what Twin said earlier was correct. Get Danny Gray in the round. If Danny hit a hole, goodbye and good night.
Long run.
Appreciate you, but you're not catching him. He gone.
He 4.3 speed dude like
and the crazy thing about Jerry was what, 4.6, 4.7?
But he made it look like he ran track speed.
Game speed?
Oh, game speed, though?
Game speed's different.
This motherfucker's running a 4.1 damn near.
Hey, look. Ain't nobody catching Rice, boy. the yak god. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, bro. I look, and I know you remember seeing them plays, Dave. Like he just was out there just terrorizing these poor defensive backs. And it's crazy because you look at him, you're like, man, I didn't know he was that quick. But it's just like Huff. Huff was like a 4.6, but when he's on that field, man, he playing at a 4.3 speed. Like he doesn't have the speed to catch the fast guys, but he laid a hammer down on you real quick, and he ain't thinking twice about it either. He gonna hit you and make you understand. There's a reason I throw this tee up. There's a reason that I love my people, and I represent the Tongan people every time I lay that hammer down on you. You know why? Because that Polynesian culture, that's what they breed, man. They breed them rough, rugged, and raw cats, man.
Take pride in that.
Very much so.
Yeah, but anyways, man, we already passed the hour mark for you guys. If you guys got anything to say on your mind, we'll probably just end it in probably about 5 minutes for y'all. But for Twin Empire, we definitely appreciate you on the show, bro. For anybody else who needs to check out your content or what you got on social media platform, you're more than free to let them know.
It said plug it in, and we ain't talking about none of those little wonderful fragrances that you used to be, back in the house. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know.
Most definitely, though, man.
We talking about the clapper and shit.
But yeah, man,
Glades plug it in.
Hey, look, have your house smelling nice and wonderful, man. It smell like clean sheets. Y'all know what I'm talking about? But yeah, man, y'all can find me, man, on YouTube, Twin Empire on YouTube. Make sure you click the channel sub, you know what I mean? Make sure you like a video too. Leave a comment, I definitely would be thankful. And make sure I respond to you as well. And also on Twitter, it's Twin Empire. It's the handle that you see in that wonderful red box right there. So Twin Empire on YouTube, man. Make sure y'all like, sub to the channel. You can catch me putting videos on there periodically throughout the week. And also I got a show that I run with my brother on Wednesdays. If we got to push back, maybe on Thursday, but it's our pick 'em show, man. And we just get on there, man. We just do a little brother podcast called the Bearded Bros Podcast on Wednesday. We sit there, have a nice little drink or two, and this is how we do ours. Whoever loses that game, if we pick different games, you got to take a shot, And every now and again, we have like a friendly parlay. If you feeling real greasy or if I'm feeling real, bold and beautiful out there, I'll say, okay, we'll do a little, I bet 2 shots on this game, God dog it. And so, yeah, man, just check it out on Wednesdays, man. And we just like we some Niner fans. So I love Niners and love talking about the Niners. And I appreciate, CJ having me on. And it was a wonderful time with you guys.
Oh, yeah. Twin Empire?
Yes,
YouTube?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm trying to find you right now.
Oh, dude, he appeared on Law Nation's channel too.
Okay, cool.
Let me see.
Like him are like the Beard Brothers right there. But in all seriousness, he's a good content creator. I checked out some of his stuff. That's why I was just like slurring around, see what I can get some community vibes with everybody else, man. But he does a pretty good job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. They make sure I'm telling you right, ho. I gotta make sure the YouTube ain't out here doing me wrong, man. Yeah. Twin Empire, man. I'm see if I can put it in the chat for you guys.
Yeah, and then for the future, for David McNiner, he's gonna have his own channel down the road. He went from his actual name to now McNiner. I gave him the name change. Maybe you should get like a Hulk video or something like that, man.
Hulk smash,
like Hulk Hogan, brother.
Oh man.
All right, let's see the private chat. All right, yeah, Twin Empire. That's like his main channel. You should be able to find him, or just go click on Niners, right?
Yeah, no, I got him. Yeah, I got him.
Oh, dude, that dude's got the beard. It's bigger than Zeke Elliott and bigger than Long Nation combined, bro. That dude got a big beard. That's why he's called the Twin Tower, Twin Empire. I mean.
Well, actually, the reason why I call it Twin Empire, man, I got 2 sets of twins, so that's my little unique, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Like dinner table talk that kind of leave people in the gas for like, what you just say? I'm like, yeah, I got 2 sets of twins. They're like, what you for real? I'm like, I'm quite for real.
Hey,
But
you got the more full look, bro. You can just go with the white facial look and then go in for Christmas like that, man. That's
hey man, I'm feeling very Game of Thrones. You know what I'm saying? I'm very the North. You know,
King of the North.
King of the North.
man. But for everybody else, man, we had a good time. Hopefully down the road, but I know you're not fully committed. It's no pressure, man. Everybody's more than free to hop on, man. This show's for everybody else, like, special guests or just co-host consistently, man. If you're willing to come on in any other time, be free to, and I'll send you the link just like today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, we definitely gonna hook up, twin. I gotta get with you on one of them pick'em shows, bro. I do.
Oh yeah, man.
I do my picks on Wednesday because it's right before the NFL week starts. I do mine usually on IG. I just go live on there, and that's why I do it. But yeah, man, hit me up, bro. I definitely would. Right? Look, hey, that beard, right? you gotta put that on a consistent basis, though. I guarantee.
Hey, look, me and my brothers both say, hey, we are several years older than James Harden.
Right.
Look, we definitely was a part of the beard culture a little bit longer than he has, but he does have notoriety and fame. So hey, if I need to do a little skit pose at James Harden one time, hitting with the lefty Euro, I might have to do that once or twice.
Hey, look, man, it may help, and to be honest with you, man, like that's the crazy thing because since my name is Dion, I always got that as a kid, Dion, prime time, this, that. I'm like, yeah, I'd love to have his money. I don't need the fame. I don't need the career. Just give me the money. Let me go ahead and get a little small piece of that. I'll turn it into whatever I need to. Tommy Huxley, you late bastard in the building. I love that guy, though.
Yeah, Tommy's an awesome guy.
Tommy's awesome, man. I love that dude, bro. He always in it. And bro, if you get Tommy, man, he gonna be.
How you guys doing so far? Speaking of picks for the week, how you guys doing so far?
I can't tell you right now, but I'm not looking too bad. I'm looking all right.
I haven't even really checked.
My season record is well over 500. I had a couple of weeks where I was like really shifty, like, ooh, these are looking bad. But then I just had them weeks where I was stacking them dubs, man. I was just getting them. The only thing that really ever threw me off was there was like maybe 2 or 3 weeks out of this season where it was lopsided. I had a losing record because I was picking the wrong teams. And then those stupid ties that just come out of nowhere.
They ruined it.
3 ties in this NFL season, which is fucking ridiculous.
I had 1 week. I was 4-12, and it's my first losing pick in over 10 years. It's my first lose. A lot of times I've come out even, but it was my first one with a losing record in 10 years. I was like, I think it was like week 3 or something like that, back when everything was nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, hopefully you feel better, Tommy. I know you was sick, brother. Hopefully you feel better, man. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you take some elderberry and some zinc, man. Get that immune system built up, and you'll be fine. That, or if you.
I don't know what's going on with Monday night, but I'm 13-2 right now for this week.
Hey, turn up. Okay.
I don't know much of my record, but on the other pick'em leads, I think I'm second in the division. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Freaking faders, dude! I picked the Patriots.
Dude, I picked the Patriots.
Faders hosed me.
And they got the catch. They got to
Hey, before we get out of here, bro, I need everybody's thoughts on that bullshit to happen. Bro, they had the green line for the field goal. He got well past that. Why are you lateraling the ball? Why? What are you
run out of bounds? Right? Go out of bounds. He was right there by the sideline.
Oh my God. And then the last lateral. How did you not see that there was not a Patriot in sight? How did you miss that? Like there was not a Patriot anywhere near that outside of Mac Jones. Mac Jones ain't got to run up and go get that ball to know he about to get his world rocked by Chandler Jones. The stiff arm by Chandler was disgusting.
He says, I'm taking it.
Yo, I'm sorry. I don't care what nobody says. That was for every defensive lineman / linebacker that's wanted to stiff arm somebody like Derrick Henry in their life. And he put him into the dirt. I ain't seen a stiff arm like that by a defender in a long time. That shit was hilarious. How did you feel about that, Twin? What did you? I was like,
my ball, bro.
I was just, I mean, it was amazing, honestly. I was sitting back there watching, I'm like, what is going on? Are y'all really about to do this?
Mm-hmm.
And then when I seen my man throw it and I saw Chandler like 55 just wide, I'm like, okay, he finna catch this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's not a and I almost wanted to pause it, you know what I mean? Because the stiff arm was like in slow motion. It was like, you know, it was like y'all know the movies back in the day.
Like,
Mike Myers, yeah.
It just like slow. And I just see my man just like, oh, and then with Matt Jones, so he's already kind of awkwardly built, you know what I mean? And so his movements are a little bit, you know, suspect at times. And so when my man just fell on the ground and he just took out running, I was like, oh yeah, this right here. And then it was again how ironic it was, like the Raiders versus the Patriots. And then Josh McDaniels was blowing several leads this year and just playing horrible. But to have one of the most craziest blunders to a team that, like, everybody knows this. Bill Belichick is extremely disciplined when it comes to the small, minute things. Mm-hmm. And so for his team to have, like, such a blunder against a former coach of his, it was just like, oh, this right here is must-see TV. This is about to go viral.
It's happened with him when he was with the Broncos. He did beat Belichick when he was with
believe it or not, Josh McDaniels is 2-0 against Belichick.
Yeah, he is with the Broncos.
He's that one disciple that can actually beat him. Everybody else loses to him.
Yeah, actually, we've been beating Belichick lately. We've been beating Belichick consistently.
Mm-hmm.
But what were you guys gonna say?
I'm just looking at the Monday night score. Lamb 6, Green Bay 7. Just scored a touchdown to make it 23. They're about to kick an extra point.
Where's Rudy? Okay. I'm worried about poor Rudy, man. That Rams
hey, I got my black outfit ready for the Rams funeral because it's tonight. That'll be their 10th loss.
We're taking
look, man. I'm going. Look, I want to go to the funeral with you because I'm about to laugh and throw popcorn at people and watch everybody cry. Like, I literally and Brandon said it best. I love how there's no Rams fans to be found in our chats anymore. See, here's
the NFC West Network you might see a little, but the rest of them,
but they ain't deep. And see, on the NFC West Network, that Ram fan is respectful. I mess with him.
Pale, yeah.
These other fools that was in my chat running their mouth like they was ready, they was with it, and they have this. I ain't seen them. I ain't seen them since.
That
Ruiz gone.
Yeah, that Ruiz guy. That Ruiz guy is always talking consistently, but the other ones are always like coming around like out of the blue.
Oh yeah,
they don't come in Sports Report used to be in everybody's chats. Oh, we're the defending champs.
The champs here.
Where are you at? Where are you hiding, Rudy? I mean, he does stream occasionally, but he tries to duck all the 49er fans and do it like super late. And
he do.
He doesn't.
He put his show on at the worst times because I be looking for him. I purposely subbed and turned on the notifications so I can get his ass. But he always goes so damn late, man. I'm like, bro, I gotta go to sleep, man. I'm old. I'm 41. You know what I'm saying? I'm a grown man, bro. I'm tired. I ain't up late at night no more.
You might want to check out Rudy Twin Empire.
I'm 45.
That dude's a comedy like act, bro. Like he'll act like living in the past, but then he'll be like, "Oh, we got the rings now. Oh, you guys Niner fans are in the past. Your rings don't count."
Yeah. Oh, our rings don't count, but all that lip you was all that before the season, bro. I swear to you, Twin. This is what the season. He ran his mouth consistently all day. The champs are here. The champs are here. And
Ramalator, ram up. What the
look? I can't even lie though. Right now, though, this is like this. I'm weird like this. As long as they didn't won one before we have though, I can't. I'm kind of like I take it because they won one in the digital age, and so. If they talking trash and they got one, it's still fresh. You know what I'm saying? It hurts to say this, but they still got some grace. Because when we win the Super Bowl and the next year come over and it's been 27 years, I'll still be talking mad trash.
Oh, I'm gonna talk all kinds of
trash. Oh God,
I'm going directly to his channel. The minute we get that, the minute I know that Lombardi is ours, I'm going live and I'm calling him out. Where you at? Where you at?
I'm gonna put a milk carton. I'm
I'm
gonna put a milk carton for Rudy, bro. I'm gonna put a milk carton stream and say,
right, we gotta put an APV out for him because he ain't here. Now, here's another fan.
I'm taking 6 straight shots real quick.
Yeah, here's another fan in the chat that comes in and does not hide, and I respect him for it, and that's Seahawks Eddie. Seahawks Eddie, Syjan, those two dudes,
they're respectful.
Win or lose, they get the smoke. They come.
They know that it's coming.
And if they get and if they win, they give it. And I'm respectful of it because they with it. See, the Rams fans,
they're quiet.
They run. They be gone.
Cardinals fans, they disappear like quick.
Rams fans run like crackheads. Oh, you ain't gonna catch a crackhead. You ain't gonna catch a crackhead. You're just not.
You guys haven't won nothing in 26 years. Oh, you guys' rings don't count. They're old. They're expired. That's what they say.
At the end of the day, when you get up to 5, start talking to me. Until
they don't count.
Keep your mouth shut. Sorry. That's what I tell Cardinal fans all the time. Just get one before you come fucking with me.
Yeah. Eddie's right about it. Cardinals fans do go hiding except for AZ and a couple guys. But, man, dude, we can go on forever, man. But I know you guys got stuff to do, man. I don't want to hold y'all up. But maybe down the road, maybe for Twin Empire, if he's interested to come down the road, man, he's more than free to come on the show, man.
Oh, man. Most definitely. I'll definitely be getting, and keep in touch with you, man. And, yeah, man, again, thank you guys again for having me, man. It was good meeting you guys on the 49ers round table check-in on this wonderful Monday.
Round check, man.
Get it, baby.
And the name is CG, not CJ.
What? That was me.
Good. I just like to mess with, I like to ruffle a little here and there. It's just fun.
Hey, it's all Gucci, man. I love it. I got 3 brothers. This is all we do.
Oh, but that can happen all the time. Y'all
that's what we do. But yeah, man, appreciate you guys for having me on, man. So,
all right, man. For everybody else, we're about to end the show, and everybody have a great day. And as always,
go Niners.
Go Niners.